Welcome to another episode of A Lil Spooky. This is the show where we talk about things that spook us just a little bit, like cryptids, monsters, conspiracy theories, urban legends, UFOs, aliens, or having a dream that you have to pee really bad and then waking up seconds from an emergency. A pee emergency, if you will. My name is Colleen.
My name is Everett. I thought you were going to say, and you wake up and you peed the bed.
No. I'm not there yet. Give me a few more years. But you know what happened? What happened was I was having this dream that I was at a family reunion and I had to pee so bad. And I was going from bathroom to bathroom, and every time they were always like full. Someone was in there. And I woke up around 4 o'clock in the morning and I had to pee so bad. So I get up, I leave our room, and it's like hazy in the house and it smells like smoke. So I was convinced that the house was on fire. So I ran downstairs, like looking for the source of the smoke. Turns out there's like some wildfires around here. And
we had the wind blowing just right to make our house felt like full of smoke, basically.
I'm not used to that. This is northern Minnesota. Yeah, I was going to say, fire is the opposite of snow. That's just not a thing I'm used to. It freaked me out. It took me about an hour to fall back asleep because I was convinced that like maybe the smoke alarms weren't working or something. I don't know.
Speaking of dreams, I had a dream a few days ago too that I wanted to tell you about. So we were driving down the highway and we drove past a farm with a flock of cows.
A flock?
Yeah, a flock of cows.
Like a herd?
Herd?
A herd of cows?
Of course I've heard of cows.
Oh my God. You know me way too well. You knew I was too douchey to not let that go. Oh.
Changing the subject.
Oh my God. I can't believe I fell for that shit. Okay.
Changing the subject. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Oddish.
Why?
It's cute. And I like plants. And it's kind of vampire-y. And people make
vampire-y? Doesn't have teeth.
No, but it's like got those red eyes, and people make vampire jokes about me all the time.
That's true. Mine is Slugma.
I'm not falling for this.
Slugma balls.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, let's get into it. We spoke a little bit about dreams, and we've actually talked a lot about dreams on our podcast too.
Yeah.
Like in prior episodes. So we've talked about like sleep paralysis and the meanings of dreams. We talked about that at one point too.
Yeah, my teeth dreams.
Yeah, and then we've shared our own dreams too. One question remains unanswered that we haven't discussed. Why do we dream? Why do you think we dream, Colleen?
I always read that it was your brain making sense of like external stimuli you didn't have a chance to process while you were awake.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely an explanation. But the thing is, no one agrees on why we dream.
Right. I guess there's no way to prove it because nobody even knows why we sleep. Like the need for sleep still hasn't been figured out.
Well, and the thing is, not all, at least that we know of, most life forms sleep, obviously. I mean, some don't.
Right.
But
I shouldn't say the need, nobody knows the need for sleep, but it doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, and the point I was getting at too is dreams are also like very specific to like mammals, and not even all mammals either.
Oh, really? How do they know?
Well, I mean, people that have pets, cats and dogs, you can tell they're dreaming.
Yeah, but how do they know that like a reptile or bird doesn't?
Right. Well, we can't even decide why we dream in general.
Right.
So how do we know? But so like you said, it could be, your brain trying to make sense of things and like trying to create memories, like better creating memories by dreaming.
Sure.
Another reason might be for a training ground for us to better prepare for threats in the waking world. So it's like kind of conditioning your fight or flight response.
Really?
That's why a lot of people think we have nightmares.
Interesting.
For a lot of people, it helps cope with issues too. So they kind of go through a situation in their head while they're dreaming.
Yeah.
And also, for some people, not as many, but it helps stimulate creativity and aid in problem solving as well.
In what way? I mean, you're asleep.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have a vivid dream, or in some cases lucid dreaming too, and you can kind of control what's happening, and you can try different things, that helps you if you're like an artist or something.
Really? Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Because I can't.
I'm not an artiste.
Well, right, but I can't I don't remember the issues I'm trying to sort through while I'm dreaming. You know, I have dreams about teeth and haunted houses and stuff.
Yeah, but you can't lucid dream.
That's true.
Well, no matter what the reason is, we all dream. Even if we don't remember our dreams, we all do dream as humans.
Right.
Dreams are influenced by a lot of different variables. Anxiety and stress can cause nightmares. Your diet can actually affect your sleep cycles, in turn affecting your dreaming. And certain sleep disorders can actually trigger more vivid dreams when someone finally falls into a REM sleep cycle. So if you have like insomnia or another sleep disorder, takes forever, days at a time for you to actually have a good night's sleep. And then you're going to have very vivid dreams while you're in your REM cycle.
Yeah. I mean, I've been afflicted with like bad insomnia since probably like 6th grade. I don't remember particularly vivid dreams, though I do remember after being put on medication, that's when I started having crazy dreams.
And I mean, the thing is, it obviously affects everyone differently, right? Like some people remember all of their dreams every night.
Right. Yeah. I suppose I'm not the end all of truth.
But regardless, all of those variables are a personal level.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
However, can some things trigger odd dreams for an entire community?
That's some MK Ultra bullshit.
What about the entire species? Maybe a catastrophic event happening on Earth changes the way we dream.
You mean everybody having the same dream at the same time, or just everybody experiencing certain dreams at some point in time? Because, I mean, for instance, my dreams about teeth falling out, millions of people have had variations of that dream.
I'm not even saying the same dream. I'm just saying maybe some sort of gas that wasn't present in the atmosphere at a certain level before changes the way we dream, so we're more prone to having nightmares than we were before.
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Weird, but okay.
Those are weird questions that a lot of people don't think of, but they might be questions that were asked by a mysterious organization, and we still have no knowledge of what their findings were. In 2015, people in Portland, Oregon were finding flyers across the city, and this flyer read as follows. Have you been having strange dreams? The Willamette Valley Dream Survey is investigating a recent spike in bizarre, unexplainable dreams.
What?
If you have been experiencing any unusual dream activity, you can help by reporting a summary. Please call 971-258-1465 with a description of your dream. And that's all that was on the flyer.
I have several. So it didn't list an organization. It just said, help us determine this reasoning for the spike in strange dreams. Correct. But how did they measure that there was a spike in strange dreams to begin with?
Don't know.
How would you know that? I mean, if you had to ask for dream information after the fact, how would you know before asking that there had been a spike? Or unless you were just talking amongst your group of friends and 3 of you were like, yeah, we had some weird dreams.
That's true.
And you considered that a spike.
You're missing the point, though, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, too. Who is this?
Yes, and that wasn't on.
No, all they said is the Willamette Valley Dream Survey. So no one knows if that's the name of the organization or if that's just the project they're doing. But and Willamette County, I believe, is the county that Portland's in, I assume. I didn't bother to check that because I just assumed that's what it was.
So you didn't look into Willamette Valley Dream Survey?
No, obviously I did. I just mean Willamette County.
Sure, right. Got you.
Or Willamette Valley, excuse me. I assume that's just where Portland is. But regardless, there was no additional context. So like we said, no organization, but also no date. These just appeared in April of 2015. So there's no like deadline for like being able to call this number. No other additional information at all. And
I'm sorry, you said they were all over the city? It wasn't just like one bulletin board. It was.
I mean, I don't know about all over the city, but it was definitely not just one area. Many flyers were found.
Okay.
So,
I wonder who found the first one and then somebody else across the city was like, hey, I've seen that too.
Oh,
like,
yeah. We're getting into that for sure. So if you called the number, you would get an automated voicemail saying that you reached the Willamette Valley Dream Survey, and to describe your dream after the tone, they would also state that any description you provide could be duplicated in other forms of media. So whether it be your actual recording or if it's a transcript, they said they could reproduce that for their own purposes.
Okay. Or like if they were to publish a study, they could.
Yeah, I assume that's what the main reason would be.
You would think.
So, I mean, if anyone were to call this number, I would just hope they don't have any identifying information other than the phone number they're calling from.
Right.
I hope they don't provide their name on their voicemail or anything like that. Just list your dream.
Right.
So, you said, how was this figured out or initially found out by the community at large, not just Portland, but everyone?
Yeah.
A picture of the flyer was posted to Reddit in April of 2015, and people were trying to dig deeper and figure out what was going on. One Redditor pointed out that Googling the phone number brings up posts that advertise a kids' summer camp for improving their German.
What?
Of course, this led to Reddit theorizing that the Dream Survey is connected to the camp, some going as far as making unfounded claims that the summer camp held secrets regarding their true intentions, or maybe even being a death camp. But honestly, that's just stupid and racist because Germany did that in World War II.
Okay, well, right, yeah. So let's just leave Nazis out of it. They're thinking that the German Camp for Kids is a front for some organization, or that the kids are being brainwashed by some organization.
They just thought there was a connection in some way because the same phone number was listed.
Okay.
This was quickly debunked, though.
Oh, disappointing.
Someone contacted the school or the camp directly.
Okay.
They said that, and I believe it was actually a newspaper that contacted them because it was also kind of a local sensation.
Sure.
A newspaper reporter contacted them, and they said that used to be their phone number. It was like a Google VoIP phone, what is that? Like a virtual number you can get.
Oh, okay.
But they no longer owned it. So it was no longer.
It just hadn't been updated on their website or whatever. It
was actually updated on their website, but I think when you Google the phone number, and I actually tried this when kind of researching some stuff on this topic, you actually can still find old Facebook posts from this summer camp.
Okay.
With that phone number.
So they're associated. Right. You can't erase anything on the internet.
Right. Well, right. Pretty much, yeah. And those were dated back around 2013, but this is happening in 2015.
Sure.
So they didn't have this phone number for most likely a couple of years. And going through registries will actually prove that this is true. The summer camp is definitely no more than an education program.
That you know of.
Yeah. So this number for the survey actually still remains active all of this time till today. But interest in the mystery died down since there were no leads, and 5 years pass. In 2020 of April, a new post was made to Reddit. A very similar flyer was posted in Utah with the same wording and the exact same layout as well.
What?
It read as follows. Have you been having strange dreams? The Happy Valley Dream Survey is investigating a recent spike in bizarre, unexplainable dreams. If you have been experiencing any unusual dream activity, you can help by reporting a summary. Please contact either Happy Valley Dream Survey at gmail.com or 725-333-8067 with a description of your dream. So
I'm not calling something called Happy Valley.
Happy Valley actually is the name of the area.
Yeah, it's still, It sounds suspicious. That the whole area sounds suspicious.
So with this situation just last year in 2020.
Yeah.
There were two main posters on Reddit that brought this back into the limelight.
Sure.
They actually even posted calls that they made to this number. Soon after they posted these, the users vanished from the website. Most assumed that they did not revive this mystery themselves as some sort of game, because they would stick around to like kind of get the clout involved. And like,
so you don't think they don't think it was a hoax? They think it was like,
well, they're not saying they don't think it's a hoax. They're saying the posters didn't fake it or didn't create these flyers themselves.
So if it is a hoax, the posters weren't involved.
Right.
Right. I mean, I can why if it was a hoax, the point is kind of notoriety, I guess, unless you're one of those people who just is doing some weird social experiment.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that, but since it's Reddit, I mean, you know, the whole point is getting your upvotes, right? So,
sure.
And they disappeared. So they're like, and I believe those posts are now deleted. So like they're no longer trying to get attention from this. However, one thing that both of these posters did draw attention to in their posts on Reddit was an organization called Futel. Now, it's spelled Futel. I don't know if that's Futel or Feudal.
Foodle.
But
sorry.
Regardless, they brought up this company and how the organization was definitely not involved with the flyers.
What?
I know, right? So, like, it's completely out of left field. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
What do we know about Futel?
Futel is an organization that purchases old payphones in Portland and connects them to Wi-Fi in order to provide the homeless and those without phones an ability to make free calls.
Okay, noble service. What the fuck does that have to do with a dream survey?
So their website states that their mission is to provide the ability to make calls to anyone regardless of the purpose. And the wording in their about section is actually super weird, where they bring up like they want to build a Tower of Babel of like old payphones and stuff.
What?
It's really weird shit. But if you pick up one of these phones, there's no dial tone because it's connected to Wi-Fi, so it just automatically brings up a registry for you.
I'm sorry. How do you get access to one of these phones? You have to contact this organization?
No, like they're actually old payphones in Portland that are repurposed to be connected to the internet so the homeless people can make calls.
Okay, so anybody can walk up to this payphone and use it for free. Okay, sorry, I was misunderstanding.
So when you pick up one of these phones, you're automatically given a automated voice, like a directory with several options. You have a free dial option, so you can dial whatever number you want, but there's also a quick dial where it lists several different things you can call right away.
Mm-hmm.
These include, and this is according to one of the local papers in Portland.
Okay.
You can call the mayor.
All right.
You can call the druid of Sisyphus Gardens.
That's like listed in one of the...
Yes, that's the second option. I don't know what that is. I tried so hard to figure out who that was.
Anyone knows who the druid of Sisyphus Gardens is? Podcast at NerdSloth.com.
Yeah. Another option was a voicemail confessional called the Apology Line, where anyone could access it and listen to people's voicemails.
How is this useful for homeless people?
Mainly to call whoever you need to.
No, who needs access to the druid or the Apology Line?
That's true. But another option was the Willamette Valley Dream Survey.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. So that clearly, obviously, has nothing to do with these flyers then.
No. And the thing is, those flyers where these posters said this has nothing to do with Futel, that was the Happy Valley one in Utah.
That's where the poster said that.
The posters that put on Reddit, this has nothing to do with this organization, they were commenting on their own post about the flyers in Utah.
Okay.
But they're in Portland, this company. This company is in Portland doing this.
So the flyers in Portland are connected to the Portland payphone service, but the Utah ones, according to the people who posted it, have nothing to do with the ones in Portland.
Correct.
Okay, so
or
there's
at least
just
nothing to do with this organization.
Right. But I mean, I guess that goes hand in hand. To me, that makes it sound like they're trying to say they're not related at all.
Right. Well, regardless, these Futel phones connect users to the Dream Survey with that quick dial option. So that means one of two things. Futel's either behind the survey or they know who is.
Yeah, someone's got to.
Right.
Because somebody has to be able to program the number into the system.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, the phone number was on all the flyers, so I guess technically
right, but I mean, why would a random employee at this place that's programming these phones add that unless they had a reason to add it?
For sure. People have tried contacting Fattel about this.
Uh-huh.
They're like, why do you have this on your quick dial registry? Why are you connected to this survey?
I mean, can we go back and talk about the druid for a second? They're not questioning that. Has anyone called the druid?
Yeah, I assume this druid is actually a real person that you can just connect with. Maybe he has something to do with this Fattel organization.
Who decided the list of quick dial options? That's who you need to drill down to.
It might be the druid. I don't know who that is, and I did try to find out, but I haven't. Regardless, not connected to the story unless the druid also did this survey.
Right.
But we don't know. So people are contacting Fattel, but every time someone asks about the Willamette Valley Dream Survey, they ignore you. They will not respond. They'll respond to other questions like, hey, can you maybe try and get a phone in this area? Or, hey, your phone is damaged in this area. Yeah, they'll help with that.
If I was asking a list of questions and like slipped that into the middle, they just would ignore that one.
They would ignore that one. Or if you contact them just to ask about that, they're just not going to respond.
How many people work for this organization?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Sure. Yikes. Why is it so mysterious? I'm going to hate this. There's no conclusion to this story, is there?
We'll see.
Okay.
So, what happens when you actually call the dream survey? You leave your message, and if you're calling from a cell phone, many have actually reported right after hanging up the phone, they receive an automated message instantly from the dream survey thanking them for their participation. However, some people have also tried responding to these texts. Some have received additional responses. One thing that has been reported is a text that reads, and I know I'm going to mispronounce this, 9 Goe 5 Jit, which actually is Haitian Creole, which translates to September 5th.
What? What?
Yeah. So this is when we're recording this in 2021.
Yes.
Days
from September 5th.
Right. But last year, especially around this time in April of last year, there was a small community on Reddit, and I forget the actual title of the subreddit, but it had something to do with September 5th, 2020.
Okay.
They believed that there were going to be major changes to the world that would occur on September 5th, 2020. It's not a doomsday cult. It's not a religion. But what it is someone who created this subreddit were having prophetic dreams that all of these changes were going to happen to humankind on this date, specifically this date.
Just a rando, and he happened to get followers.
Right. The user, like I said, made it very clear that this was not a doomsday vision, but that a major turning point would happen on this day. So in hindsight, I don't know if anything of actual concern or value at all happened on this date. I mean, obviously we're alive and like things are fine relative to how they were before September 5th.
Did you Google it?
I did. There are no major news stories that I could find that happened on that day. However, the fact is that this dream survey sent out a date that was also shared by a community that believes prophetic dreams were foretelling a major event on that day. So they're both connected by the date, but also connected by the fact that dreams are super important.
Yeah. So the idea is that potentially this guy could be, guy or girl or guru or whatever, could potentially be behind the survey.
Maybe. Or maybe
but there's
it's just
no connection otherwise.
Right.
It could. Okay.
Maybe, but it could just, it could be a coincidence or it could be involved. We don't know.
Spooky.
Personally, I don't think the flyers that were put out in Utah are actually truly connected to the ones that were originally put up in Portland 5 years previous.
You think they were like a hoax?
Yeah, I think it's more likely that someone became aware of those flyers from 2015 and decided to have a little fun and copy it and make their own phone number and email for people to contact them
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of abandon it. Like, I believe that number's still active as well. And I assume the email is, because email is,
Does that also send out the September 5th response?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
And do we know to what they were responding to with September 5th? You said that only some people got replies back.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what those people said to get a reply.
I saw some of the text chains. I think they were asking just very general questions like, what is the purpose of this? Or who is running this? And then they would just send back these weird cryptic responses.
And was that happening for both the Happy Valley?
No. Just the Portland one.
Just the Portland one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whether or not the Reddit posters that brought attention to the one in Utah were behind it, there does not seem to really be an actual connection between the two surveys other than they use the same format.
Right.
So,
well, and of course, the one in Utah has nothing to do with futile.
I think it's Fattel. I really don't think it's futile. I don't think it's futile because that would be an odd name choice for what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, that's that is a valid point.
So where do we go from here?
I have so many lingering questions just about the logistics of this. How do they know? There's no verification process. I could call and say whatever I wanted. I could be like, I had a dream that my dog was flying and I ate a toaster strudel.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, and they would have and that would completely skew their research if in fact they are doing research because it would be completely meaningless.
Right.
And so...
and the thing is too, the initial flyers said they were investigating a recent spike in bizarre dreams in the area. But since this is national and I assume international, I'm sure people from other countries are looking at this too. Anyone can call this number. I'm
wondering if they're like being limiting it by area code or something. But if that's the case, I mean, I have an area code right now from a place that I don't live.
That's true.
Because I kept my number. And there has to have been some cutoff in terms of number of responses that they could process, unless they have some really sophisticated, like, computer program somehow sifting through and, like, organizing it into information that might be useful.
You're giving, I think, honestly, too much credit to them.
You think
I don't think this is a legitimate survey. I think someone is just getting people to call them.
Because they're lonely. And they just want to hear someone tell a story.
Let's find out, because I'm going to call them right now.
Oh, okay.
Live on our recording.
Recorded live.
So the number, and I did mention this earlier, it is still active. I did call it earlier today, but I didn't wait long enough for the beep. I'm going to do that right now.
Are you going to say a dream?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do...
Are you going to make one up? Or is this okay. No, it's a real dream. Okay.
So I'm going to call and see what happens. I'm hoping that I get a text right after, which I'm going to respond to. I'm probably not going to get a response. If I do get a text at all, I'm probably not going to get a response while we're recording, I assume, because whoever is responding to these automated texts has to be a human, right?
I don't know. It might not be.
Well, the automated text probably isn't. But whoever's responding to the response to the automated text, sending that Creole Haitian or Haitian Creole.
But if it's always the same message, it could
it doesn't necessarily have to be the same message.
But you said it's always responding with that September 5th.
No, not always. That's just what has happened.
Oh, so what else have they responded with?
I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm going to call right now.
Thank you for calling the Willamette Valley Dream Survey. Please leave a detailed account of your dream after the tone. Transcripts or audio from your report may be duplicated in other media.
Hi, so I've been having this recurring dream that I've had ever since I was a kid, and I have actually been having this dream more often recently. So what happens is that there is this animal that follows me at a constant rate of speed. So usually what's happening is I'm in a car driving from my grandparents' house to my parents' house when I'm still a kid, and I'm in the back seat. And I'm looking out the back window and I see this thing following us. And what it is a female deer, a doe, on its legs, but its backwards crab walking at me. It's not chasing me like quickly, but it is pursuing me. So I have a feeling of dread that I have to constantly outrun this thing. So no matter where I go, it's going to change direction and keep following me. It's never caught up to me, but I do fear the day that it will finally catch up to me. And that's all.
Whose grandma did they get to record that message?
I know, right?
I thought it would be some mysterious automated voice. That was like some poll worker.
Yeah, it did sound like
Dorothy
an old lady volunteer.
Yeah. Which for some reason makes it seem a little more legit to me.
I'm waiting for an automated text, but unfortunately, no, I didn't get one. But hey, this number is still active. So if you want to try giving them a call and see if you actually get a response from them, give them a call. Their number is 971-258-1465.
Oh man, what if it was something super nefarious and they were recording your voice and like they're going to use it for spooky things.
The thing is, I give no identifying information. I mean, they do have my phone number, so if they tried hard enough, they could probably figure out who I am. And if they somehow hear this podcast, if it's sent to them or something, they can figure out who we are very easily from that too. But I'm not worried.
You honestly think it's just nothing, just a person?
Okay. A lot of people, and I've watched a couple like, YouTube style documentaries, like, quick little things about this. Some do fear that it is a cult behind this, and they mainly get that from the September 5th thing, that connection. Yeah, but I don't know about that. I think it is actually an organization that probably is either Fattel or subsidized by Fattel.
And what would they want to do with it, though?
I don't know. They're trying to create a Tower of Babel. I have no idea.
The reason I'm thinking it's definitely not a cult is, and I'm no cult expert, but I would imagine that if you're in a cult, your point is to recruit members. So wouldn't you want people to know that you're behind this and like the good it's doing for humanity or whatever? That's
true. You would think. I have no idea. And there are a lot of lingering questions about this too. So like, who's behind it, obviously? Why are they doing it? It's an even bigger question. And is something in Portland actually causing more people to have unusual dreams, or is that statement just completely unfounded? I don't know.
People of Portland, band together and email us. Email us with your bizarre dreams, but know that we may duplicate them for our own personal purposes.
Yeah, we're going to just post it on Twitter. I will say, too, I still haven't gotten a text or anything, so at this point, I'm not expecting one. But if I do somehow get a text or anything like that, I will make sure to screenshot it and post it on our social media for you all to see.
It's been 5 years since the original post. Now, it's interesting.
No. It's just been a year.
I thought you said that the Willamette Valley one was posted 5 years ago.
6 years ago now, in 2015. But the screenshots of these text conversations were happening in 2020, only a few months before September 5th, 2020.
Oh, so you basically we're completely forgetting the Happy Valley one. We're ignoring that.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge it happened in case there is a connection, but in my opinion, there is not. And it was kind of like just a side joke thing.
If anyone has received that September 5th text after September 5th, 2020, they didn't specify 2020. And also, why is it in some Creole language?
I don't know.
I mean, especially if in regards to Portland. I mean, I don't know of Creole being a particularly widely spoken language in Portland, Oregon. But again, I'm in northern Minnesota, so what do I know?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I do hope, though, that someday there will be more information about why this happened. Because it is like a weird little rabbit hole of like, what is happening? Why is this happening? And why is this number still active 6 years later?
Right. That's my question. If it was over, you would disable the number or at least like remove the voicemail.
Right. And the thing is, whoever this is still paying for the number because otherwise it would just be disconnected by the service provider. So whoever owns that phone number is still paying for it. Whether it be, a big one like Verizon or something, or if it's just a Google number, you still have to pay to have a phone number registered in that capacity.
Right. Man.
So maybe Fattel is behind it because they have their access to all of their numbers too.
But then what are they doing with the information? And if they're not actually looking for information about dreams, what are they doing with your voicemail? Like, are they... I'm thinking if this is like some nefarious organization, what are they doing with it? Or it doesn't make sense. Like, because then the only information they have about you is your voice and your phone number. And you could call from you could call from a payphone if payphones still existed, so they wouldn't even have your number.
Yeah, you could call from a telephone, and that's kind of why I assume a lot of people have, because it's on their quick dial option.
So what are they doing with your voice?
And I saw a couple people on YouTube being extremely overcautious about calling this dream survey. And the thing is, I understand like the sentiment of like, what are they going to do if I call it from my personal phone? Don't worry about it for two reasons. One, they don't have any other information other than your phone number and your voice. So what are they going to do with it? And two, if someone really did want to steal your personal information, it's all out there anyway.
Yeah, leaving a voicemail somewhere isn't really the easiest way to glean personal
You can
information.
buy someone's actual social security number for like $10 online. It's really, nothing is private anymore. So don't worry about it. If you want to have fun, call this number.
It wasn't like that fun.
No, it wasn't fun, but I was hoping for some more. But
I mean, okay, I would hate if this was a like spooky underground organization, but I would also love that. That would be awesome. But what's even spookier to me is if it is literally just that old lady who left that who says that
just
message.
wants to hear people's dreams.
Yes, she just wants to hear people again. Or maybe she's dead. And this is how she communicates with the world. Huh?
Maybe she is dead, Colleen. I don't know.
You seem way more skeptical about this than you should.
I seem skeptical about your claim that maybe she's dead and she's a ghost on this voicemail.
I'm throwing out theories and you're knocking down every single one.
I'm not knocking it down. I think there is something weird going on with this, and I hope we do get more info about this.
Well, give me more. I don't know anymore. What is in your brain right now, Biggie? Like, what?
I don't think it's...
What do you think it is?
I don't think that it's actually a survey for the purpose of investigating people's dreams in the area of Portland. I think they are trying to build some sort of database, but for what purpose, I don't know. And it's not like they're trying to get personal details, so it's definitely not for that reason, but they're trying to build something up, and I don't know what.
What if it was something like really boring, like it actually...
They're going to release a coffee top table book.
Yeah. Or it's just like some like linguistic survey and they just want to hear accents from across the city or something like...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird and I don't like it.
Well, here's what I have to say to close the subject. If you have any additional information about this that I have somehow missed, I would actually like you to please contact us so I can bring it up in an additional episode if we want to come back to this.
Yeah, but also just contact us so I can know. I need answers. We're never going to get any.
Well, yeah, you can contact us through email or any of our socials.
We'll go through that at the end.
Yeah, but just since I'm talking about it, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all are at NerdSlothHQ, or you can send an email to podcast@nerdsloth.com. But that is it for this topic. Colleen, what do you
never it. It's not over. It was never over.
Number's still active, so I hope we do get updates, yes.
I bet like September 5th, 2048. That's when something will happen. They didn't specify a year. It could be years and years.
Well, the Reddit community did specify a year, 2020. The texts were just September 5th.
Right. But I mean, you're assuming that the Reddit community is associated. I don't think the Reddit community is.
I'm just saying it's a weird coincidence at least.
Right. So they were talking about September 5th, 2020. If they're not related, there was no specification about which September 5th. And which September 5th? We talking September 5th in Australia or September 5th here? Because there's a big time difference. When is what going to happen?
I assume it's the area code or the time zone of Portland.
But it'd be more, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I'm really tired. I'm very sleep deprived. So for this week's fancy spooky news, I'm going to be real with you. Like spooky... The real world is really what's been spooky these days. Like Afghanistan mostly. COVID. In terms of like paranormal news, we're like severely lacking on Earth right now.
And even horror movies in general
to be
are very
fair,
lacking recently.
I will point out that, you know, what's going on in Afghanistan and COVID is a lot more important probably than your weird story about a haunted grandma or something.
It's not probably, it is more important, but we're not here to talk about that.
Exactly.
So leave it there.
So I found what I could find. I have 2 spooky adjacent articles. Moderately spooky. Spooky if you think really hard about why they might be spooky articles.
Yeah.
Article number 1. Woman punches and fights off mountain lion to save 5-year-old son from attack.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Yeah, but I don't know if I would come out alive.
Okay, so I'm not going to read the article. There's, like, this is world news, I guess. You can find it in a bunch of different websites. So I'm going to call this a reputable story. This happened in California, and a 30-kilogram mountain lion...
No idea.
Okay. Man, I wish that we went to the metric system because I don't understand why it's so hard for me to like...
9 stones.
Whatever. Anyways, this 5-year-old was playing in his backyard and what I'm going to assume is a giant mountain lion dragged him 45 yards across the front lawn and he suffered significant injuries to his head and upper torso, which is scary that you can be in your backyard and a lion will just...
Yeah.
But his mom saw, and she ran out and punched that lion at least 5 times.
Just like in the side or something? Or like right in the face? Where was she getting it?
She ran out of the house and started punching and striking with her bare hands.
Where'd she get bare hands?
Shut up. Then she immediately drove the boy to a hospital. Cool. Where law enforcement was notified of the attack, and then sadly, they killed the mountain lion. Mm. That's sad. But what's interesting is, right as they shot that mountain lion, apparently 2 other mountain lions came out and were like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Once you get the taste for human blood, you just can't turn back. They had to put it down.
I guess it's got the taste.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's more like badass than spooky.
That's spooky.
It is. I wouldn't do it. I would cry and stare.
You would stare as a mountain lion took a small child away for...
I mean, I would do my best, but I am a small person with small fists. I have baby hands.
Hey, I dig right in between the ribs, and that's good to have tiny hands for that reason. What's the next story?
Yeah,
Colleen?
this one. Okay, fine. Next story. Man discovers ladybug living inside his colon.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. This is why this is spooky. I am sure that people...
You don't have to explain why something is spooky.
No. Here. I'm sure that people who have performed colonoscopies have found far stranger things than a ladybug in a colon, like light bulbs and beads.
Yeah, sure.
Various accoutrements. But the weird thing is, this ladybug was alive, and it wasn't just like hanging out at the edge of his butthole, or it wasn't like a dead ladybug like all up in his intestines. Yeah. It was like crawling around all up in there, and they're not sure why, like how it could possibly be alive in like a oxygen depleted, pooper.
Pooper. Which exit or which entry did it gain
So
access?
here's, first off, my favorite part about this is that they do make sure to point out that the ladybug had 7 spots. So that's important. This was a routine colonoscopy of a 59-year-old man. And they found this ladybug. There's pictures of it. They found this ladybug just like crawling around in his colon. What baffled them even further is that the 59-year-old was asked by his doctors to drink a liter of polyethylene glycol, which is...
Cleans you out.
Yeah, I mean, they make you drink basically a super strong laxative so that they don't have to like fight through a bunch of poop during their colonoscopy.
Right.
So it's possible that the bug, he swallowed the bug, but there was so much of this polyethylene glycol that like the digestive enzymes
didn't actually kill it or digest it. It just kind of snuck through everything quickly.
Right. Yes. That does not explain how it survived all the way to the colon.
It's true.
I mean, it would have had to have gone all the way through.
Please
do your own thing.
Please, if you're listening to this and you have had a ladybug up your butt,
yes,
send us an email.
Don't try it at home. Yeah, we don't want pictures. Don't like try it. Don't go trying to murder ladybug.
We don't condone putting anything up your butt.
No, but like
if
it happened, I just want to know how it worked.
I still want to know if you called this Willamette Valley Dream Survey and get a response. Please tell me.
Or if you're from Portland and like you have more background information about this, or you were a member of that weird Reddit group that thought the world was going to change on September 5th, 2020. But like, there's a picture of this man's colon on the internet for literally the world to see. I would not want any of my innermost parts.
I don't think it really matters when it's at that point.
I feel weird about ultrasounds. I don't need to see your uterus. Don't post that.
That's all we got for today.
Yeah.
So send us anything we requested, or if you have your own personal tale or anything you would want us to read on the podcast, send it over.
Yeah, write us a creepypasta. Write us a story. Tell us your paranormal experiences.
Yeah. And next week, Colleen will be in your ears, and I'll be here to listen as well.
Yep. And I got a good one for you.
Ooh. Any hints?
No.
All right. We love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Presented by NerdSloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/NerdSloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.